Hey Pilates people, I'm really excited about today's workout. We're gonna move pretty fast through things, so it's just gonna flow right into one thing, right into the other. A lot of bends, a lot of movement of the spine today. We are also gonna be doing a lot of kneeling, so if you need a pad for that, please grab that. You don't need your box, no other props, just your beautiful self and the reformer. We are gonna start with 2 mediums and 1 light, so that's 2 reds and a blue for balanced body. Let's get started. So headrest up in your comfortable position. Go ahead and lie back on your carriage and just center yourself. Let's go heels on hip socket distance apart. And then just take a moment here to feel the arms stretch down and into the mat. The chest and collarbones rolling open, the tailbone sinking down, but also stretching further away from the crown of your head. All 10 toes are pulling back. Go ahead and exhale out all of your breath here, finding that long neutral spine. And then inhale, press the carriage out. And then think of growing taller as you pull the carriage back in. We inhale to lengthen out, and then exhale, pull it back in. Just taking these first few press outs to find that balanced weight across your heels and even from right to left. And without letting those knees bow in, or really out or in, can you find a little bit more weight into that inner edge of your heels? We've got 3 and 2, ribs are heavy. Last one here, hold the carriage out. Bring your right leg up into tabletop and just point out through those toes and just bend your left knee and then press the carriage out. So in these press outs here, feel that your weight is equal into your pelvis, right between right and left side. Now go ahead and press the carriage all the way out and now straighten your right leg up to the ceiling. Feel that right hip is still anchored down and then bend both knees, come all the way in. We press it out, we reach the toes up for the sky and then back in. So as the right leg goes straight, feel as though the back of that left thigh is reaching down to the floor. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Hold the carriage out. Can you pull your left pinky toe back just a little bit more? And now cross the body with that right leg, circle it down and around, and then back up. Single leg circle. Work that reach into the heel. Last one in this direction. Back up, we reverse for 3. Clip off that big toe. Last one. All the way down, and now hug the knee into your chest as your left leg grows longer, and then go ahead and bring the carriage all the way back in. All right, both heels back on for that first press out. We go out, bring your left leg up into tabletop, and just pause here for a second and get equal weight into your pelvis. And then we bend and extend on that right side. Remember, your upper arm bones are steady, trying to stay glued to the mat. Now on that next press out, you're gonna hold it out there. Extend your left leg up to the ceiling. Feel that opening in the back of the leg, and then bend the knee, bring the carriage home. And you're still trying to get taller each and every time that carriage comes home. And the right pinky toe is pulling back. There's so many things, so many things. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Hold here. We cross the body, we circle it down and around, and then back up. Palms are suction cupped to the mat. Hold here, we reverse. Make that left leg longer than your right leg. Lead with the big toe. Neck stays long. Last one, come all the way up, bends the knee in, give it a good pull in as you push that foot bar away, and then go ahead and bring the carriage all the way in. So make sure your headrest is all the way down, maybe shimmy away from the blocks just a bit. And then let's come down into the arches, hip socket distance apart. So feel the big toes kind of reach up and over here, so that way you can get a good pull of the carriage in. Take a big expansive breath into those ribs, and then on your exhale, give me a little tuck of the hips, little hover of your seat as you come up into bridge, or maybe it's a big hover. And then can you pull that carriage home just a little bit more? And then work the softening down through the ribs, but the pubic bone reaching up. And now just melt your spine all the way down down, down. Let's do that again. Round into the spine, roll the hips up to your working angle today and just pause. Feel that there's space in the front of your throat. And even if there's not, you're just thinking about it. And then round into the spine, reach the tailbone to the foot bar as you roll all the way down. Last one like this. I lied. We're going to go up and we're going to do some other stuff, but just go ahead and come up. Feel that those inner thighs are engaged like they're hugging into an imaginary ball. And now press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. You go out to where you can control things. Remember, as always, you're going to honor your body. You're going to do what works best for you. Now, if you want to make things harder, arms could go up to the ceiling, but you're still keeping your neckline open. And it should feel like that tailbone is wheeling up and over your pelvis. We've got 3 and 2. And last one here, hold it on the end. Can you bring it in just a little bit more? And now just roll your spine down about halfway and then roll it back up. You roll down about halfway and then back up. Roll down halfway and back up, down halfway and back up. Last one here, roll down halfway and then back up and then lengthen to come all the way down, down, down. Go ahead and straighten the legs out over the foot bar. Zip the legs up together and then press them down into the foot bar. Reach the arms up to the sky. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, you're going to roll yourself all the way up, up, up. And then let's change it to a medium and a light spring. So for me, I'm going to go to my red and a blue. I'm going to come lying back down. Headrest can come back up if you prefer. And then hands are going to go into the short loops. So wrap your fists around, bring your knees into your chest like a little frog. All right, so punch your fists up to the ceiling. Feel that your tailbone is heavy, your ribs are drawing down. With razor straight arms, press the arms all the way down and into the mat and just pause here. Find your chest expansion. So can you connect the entire back of the arm into the mat, but dig your knuckles into the mat as well? And then float the arms all the way back up. Again, arms come down, reach them away. Create even more space between ears and shoulders, and then float the arms all the way back up. Again, arms come down and away. Reach, 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 and then all the way back up. All right, on this next one, you press out and you hold. Make those arms so long and so straight. If you can, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up and just pause here. Now bring your knees closer into your chest like you're a tiny little ball, and then straighten the legs out and away. Find that working angle, and then bend the knees all the way in, in, in. Inhale the legs away. Exhale, everything comes in, 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 in. Inhale away. Exhale in, maybe that tailbone rolls up off the mat a little bit, and then inhale out, and then exhale in, 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 in. Last one like this. Reach the legs away. Exhale, hug everything back in. Float the arms up, lower the head back down. Now lower the arms back down again. And then if it's available, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. You're going to bend the elbows just to 90. Now straighten the arms, straighten your right leg out and pause. 2, 3, bend the elbows, knee comes back in, straighten the leg, straighten the left leg out, we pause. 2, 3, bend the elbows, bend the knee. Continue to alternate, reach, and then back in. Reach, 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 and back in. One more time each side, strong grip with those fists. Think of those shoulder blades lifting up off the mat, and bend everything back in, straighten the arms all the way up. Now from here, let's take your feet into the short loops. Head rest is going to go back down if it's up for a little short spine. So weight the arms into the mat, finds that little froggy position once again. Straighten the legs out to that working angle, and then keep the reach into the straps. Keep the anchoring down through the arms as the legs float up and over. Find your kind of roll over jackknife position here. And just pause. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, allow your sternum to soften, but maybe your hips lift up a little bit higher. And now bend your knees into the blocks. And now when you're here, pull your feet into your seat as you roll all the way down like a little ball. all the way down. Once your tailbone hits, press the legs out and away. Legs lift up. They go up and over. Arms get longer. Take a big breath in here. And then on your exhale, maybe you just deepen the stretch. And then bend the knees in towards the blocks or your shoulders. And then pull your heels to your seat and then melt all the way down, down, down. One more like that. Stretch the legs out and away. Legs come up and over. This is your tendon stretch. This is your rowing right here. So work the lift of the hips so there's no compression here. Weight is in your shoulders. Bend the knees into the blocks. Now, if you like, you can do that same thing we just did, or you can keep your feet over your face and then roll your hips away from your feet. Round down, round down. When you can't go any further, pull your heels to your seat. And then go ahead and take your feet out of the straps. Let's go ahead and hang them up. And let's roll you up. And we're going to come kneeling on our carriage facing away from the foot bar. Let's actually bring the knees up against the shoulder blocks here, and the hands are going to come onto the frame. So this is a heavy spring. I'm aware for this, so just know that this is not going to be a huge movement. So you're going to walk your hands up above or in front of your shoulders a little bit. I'm going to try to find a flat back here and press down through my shins and the tops of my feet. I'm going to do an arm pull, all right? So I'm just going to pull myself up a little bit. And then release myself back. Pull myself up a little bit and release back. Think of this as the start to your pull straps, all right? So exhale, pull yourself up. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull yourself up. Inhale, release. Should be feeling this kind of in your armpits, maybe your triceps, your lats a little bit. So pull yourself up and then back down. Last one here. Open up those collarbones. And then back. Now walk your hands back, maybe just another inch. So right now my carriage is in, but I feel like I should be maybe just an inch away from it, if that makes sense. So take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, you're gonna round your spine and pull your knees into the blocks to move the carriage a little bit, and then stack the spine back out to a flat back. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, curl the tailbone under, like your pubic bone is going towards your navel, and then flatten the back out. So a lot of times when we have a lighter spring, we just go all kinds of crazy and we're able to move all over the place. That's why I have a heavier spring on today. Round into your spine, lift the ribs, and then back out. No tension in your neck. I know it's tough here. Exhale, pull the carriage in, pull the belly up, 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 and then back out. Now we're gonna add an extension here. So carriage goes back. Extend the spine, reach the heart forward, stick the booty out, take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, round into your spine, pull the knees in, pull the carriage in, and then you go back out, extend the spine, stick the booty out, press into the shins, and then exhale, round and lift into the spine, pull the carriage in, into you. Last one like this, extend the spine, open something up. And then exhale, empty the lungs as knees come in. Okay, now we're gonna back up. So hands go onto the shoulder blocks. And just make sure that you're about hip socket distance apart here. So now if this is not comfortable, you can always come down to your hands. I just like the push that I can get here. I'm gonna take my right heel up against the foot bar. And I'm gonna try to keep myself square as I press myself out and then bend it back in. Drive that carriage out and back in. Now my body right now, or my torso, is just doing a plank. And each time that leg goes straight, I want you to think of dropping that right hip down a little bit. So right now my hip wants to open, drop it down just a hair, and then bend it back in. Now you might feel that it gets you into the back of the leg a little bit more. And the neck is staying long, gaze is just maybe just out in front of that headrest. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold out on this last one. I want you to push into those blocks, reach the carriage forward, kind of like you're going into like a little Eve's lunge or just a bent knee, and then bring the carriage back in, so knees underneath the hip, and then bend the back knee. So we're gonna do that 3 more times. Press the carriage out, reach the carriage forward so your hip drops. Maybe you find a little stretch here. And then bring the carriage in and then bend the knee back in. Last one like this. Push into that carriage, reach, 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 and then come all the way in. All right, let's switch sides. Left heel on, square yourself off, press the carriage out, and then bring it back in. Having a hard time getting that right position on that left heel here. Remember, your sternum is lifting up into your back just like you would do a plank. So I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel my chest a little bit, my arms. And your right shin, whatever connection it has to the mat, it's staying bolted down. So that way it takes the tension out of the knee. Drop that left hip down as you go out. We've got 3 and 2. And last one, hold it out here. We kind of lunge forward, reach forward, and then bring the carriage in, bend the back knee. 3 more like that. Push the carriage away, push back into that foot bar, and then bring the carriage all the way in. 2 more. Drop that left hip down, and then bring it back in. Last one like this. Push it out and away. Breathe into that tight spot, and then come all the way back in. All right, now we're gonna stay on these 2 springs, so your medium and your light. I'm gonna hook my feet around the edge of the mat, and I'm gonna take my hands to either the short loops or the long loops. It's for chest expansion. So I think I'm gonna go short today. So come up into this active kneeling position and just pause here for a second. Feel that your pubic bone is going forward, and maybe find a little bit of a lean forward to where it feels like the back of your legs kick on. I'm gonna find length out through the crown of my head. My arms are razor straight, and then pull the arms down and back and just pause here. As your fist punch down, think of the ribs lifting up, and then slowly release the arms. Let's do that again. Pull the arms down and back, open up the collarbones, arms get longer, and then arms come forward. 2 more like that. Pull the arms down and back, strong punch down through your fists. Pause here, turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, turn your head to center, and then slowly release. Last one like this. Turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left, turn your head to center, and then slowly release. You're gonna reach back and place another spring on. So another medium spring. So I have 2 mediums and a light now for thigh stretch. Walk the knees forward, but the thighs are still hip socket distance apart. So choke up onto the straps, so maybe like the webbing or right where your hardware meets the hooks. And you're gonna lift the arms up a little bit, press down through the shins, and then drive your pelvis forward just a little bit so maybe you feel your butt cheeks kick on. Now you're gonna hold this long line as you lean back, lean back, lean back, and then push into those shins to lift yourself back up. Now, if you're feeling like, I don't know, it's going into your low back, maybe look down a little bit like you're looking at your belly or your thighs or your chest, and then you lean back, but keep the pubic bone going forward. And then lift yourself back up. Think of hugging those thigh bones together even though they might be apart. And then come all the way back up. 2 more like this. Now if you want, you can keep the flat back. Maybe add a little extension here. And then nod your chin to come out of it. It's only an option. Last one here. Hamstring curl yourself back. Open up that chest if that's available. Nod your chin to kind of roll yourself out of it and come all the way up. Go ahead and hang up those straps. And now we're gonna turn around and we're gonna come to 1 medium spring. So feet go up against the blocks here. Make sure you've got a good solid connection with the bottoms of your feet, and then come back up to that active kneeling position. So hug the thighs together, again, even though they're apart, and now interlace the webbing of your fingers. Hands go behind the base of your skull. Feel the head traction up and into your hands. And just feel this opening across your front body, but maybe a little activation through the back body. And now side bend up and over to the right, keeping that head to hand connection. And then come back up through center. Inhale up and over to the left side. And then exhale back to center. 1 more time each side. And then exhale back to center. Keep driving back through those heels. Inhale up and over to the left. And then exhale back to center. Now, can you maybe lift up a little bit taller? And now just the upper body is gonna twist to the left. We're gonna lift, 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 and then come back through center. We lift and twist to the right. We lift, 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 and back to center. You got it. Create space between ears and shoulders. Elbows are pushing wide and back, and then back to center. One more time each side. Actually, this will be 3. And back to center. Can you give me a little bit more engagement through your butt cheeks here? I notice mine were relaxing. And back to center. This is your last one here. We lift, 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 and then come back to center. All right, so we're still on that one medium. You're gonna reach back for your long loops for a little bit of front arm. So come up, find spring tension. Now, again, lower body at the party. Palms are facing forward, strong grip. Soft bend to the elbows, and then reach the arms forward just to wherever you can. Feel that sternum pull back in the fist, go forward, and then lower the arms all the way back down. Again, exhale, push the arms forward. And then inhale, lower the arms down. Now you're lowering them down to your point of control. If that's in front of your thighs, it's in front of your thighs. Reach them forward and then lower them down. Imagine the arms are connected to your back, right? So not your shoulders, not your neck. Last one like this. Reach the arms up and away. Pull the base of your ribs back just a hair more, but the pubic bone goes forward. Now open the arms out, lower them down, and then lift them back up. The reach comes from your back. You lift the arms, open them out wide. I say wide, but it's to your range. Last one like this. Arms come down, we reverse. Exhale into those sticky spots. Open up that wingspan. We have 2. Grip with those pinkies. Last one here. And now reach the arms all the way up. Bring your thumbs and index fingers together for shave. Find a little bit more of a forward lean, length out through the crown of the head. Bend the elbows so wide the hands might come behind your head. And now straighten the arms back out. We open the elbows wide. And then arms reach up and away. Remember, arms are connected to your back. So I'm hoping you're feeling more upper back than anything here. You have 2. And last one. Now open the arms out wide. We only have 4 hugs here. Exhale, hug the fists together. And then inhale, open. Exhale, hug the fists together. And then inhale, open. 2 more like this. Exhale, hug, pull those ribs back. And inhale, open. Last one here. Exhale, hug, hug, hug. Open the arms out and then just lower the hips back down. Okay. So let's do some planking. If you are more comfortable with your medium spring, you stay there, or you can go to a light spring. Either way, the foot bar is gonna come down. I'm gonna stay on my medium for this particular set. All right, so place your toes on your platform here. I've got mine about hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna come down onto my forearms, and they look kind of like a number 11. I'm gonna start by, again, expanding my upper back, so finding a little bit of a protraction, and then feel the entire forearm press down and into the mat. From here, lift the knees up, and then go ahead and go all the way out to that plank and just pause. And you're just breathing into this work. Even if you have your legs apart, they're still strong. Upper thigh bones are still working hard to hug together. Tailbone is reaching long, and base of the ribs are trying to lift up. Now, can you hold this strong plank position and just slide the arms away a little bit and then pull them back in? Inhale the arms away. Exhale, pull them back in. Inhale away. Exhale, pull them in. Heels are staying lifted high. They're not moving. You have 3 and 2. And last one here, pull the elbows in, bend the knees, come all the way home. All right. I know some people that like to do that on their hands. If you're one of those people, do it. Do it. So we've got one more option here before we move into side planking. It's a little protraction, retraction. So it's just a lowering of the chest, lifting of the chest, a little bit of shoulder blade action. So forearms into the mat, float the knees up, press the carriage out. From here, shoulder blades are gonna squeeze together in your back, chest lowers down. Chest lifts up, shoulder blades pull apart. Not gonna explain it again because I'm already out of breath. Try to keep that carriage still. Let's do 4. Hang in there with me. This is 2. Last one. Bend the knees, come all the way home. Whew, anybody feel your shoulders on that? All right, so into side planking. I'm gonna drop it down to a blue spring or a light spring, only because when we get onto one side, it's a lot for the shoulder to control. If side planking isn't for you, go back to both arm planking and just work on maybe a hip dip or a weight shift, all right? So for everybody else, we're gonna start with our forearms like this into the mat, okay? So let's zip the legs up together. You're gonna press the carriage out to your plank. You're gonna hold here, and I lie. You're gonna separate the feet a little bit. Give yourself some space. I'm gonna shift over to my left forearm. Bring my right arm up to the ceiling. I'm pivoting on my feet, and then carefully come down, right forearm down. I pivot over. Just be careful with the spring, be careful with the carriage. It's gonna move a little bit. Oh yeah. Push down into that whole forearm, even the fist. Very important. How you doing? Let's do 3. Control the carriage, breathe through those sticky spots. This is 2. I'm gonna end on my right side. Last one here. Push that carriage away, or away from your chest rather. Back down, bend the knees all the way in. Whew. Sit the hips back. Just find a little child's pose, a little shell stretch. And then come all the way up. Okay. All right, so foot bar is gonna come up. We're gonna stay on that light spring, and you're gonna have a seat on your carriage. And actually, you're gonna lie down. So when you're lying down, I want your hips to be right at the very edge. So I'm away from the shoulder blocks. I'm gonna place my toes onto the foot bar, and they're not quite on top. They're actually a little bit more under. That's gonna help you lift up. So heels together, toes apart, reach the arms up to the sky. Take a big breath in here. And then on your exhale, you're gonna roll up, come up to the point where you're not gonna fall off. So some carriages I know that are like really short, so maybe you're in a half roll back here. So either find your tall lifted flat back or your half roll back. So from here, bend your knees, pull the carriage in, and then press the carriage out. So a little stomach massage, but we're gonna marry it with some other things. Imagine those arms are just pressing down and into something. Let's do 3. And 2, and last one. Now find parallel. Float the right leg up, grab onto it. Climb up the leg as high as you possibly can. And now as you round into your spine, I want you to push the leg down and away and pull the belly back and find your shave arms here, or your hug arms. From here, keep pushing into that foot bar as you roll back, and then just rock yourself back up. Just gonna do a little rocking action here. Carriage might move a little bit, that's fine. Sorry if your pants are coming off. Mine are too a little bit. So sorry if I flash you later. And I'm hoping you're just getting a deep stretch here. So rock yourself back to where your foot is right over your hip. Now, can you walk down? Walk down, go all the way down to where your head hits the mat, and then you're gonna climb up, climb all the way up, and then climb down. Think of that right hip reaching to your left inner thigh. We climb up, and then rock yourself all the way up, deepening the stretch, and then place the foot down, and then just bend the knees in, and then press the carriage out. We bend the knees in, press the carriage out, lift and twist to the left. We lift, bring the carriage all the way in, press it out. We lift and twist to the right. Find that upper back to twist you, to lift you, and come all the way back in. One more time each side. I haven't forgot about that other leg. Find length, even if you're rounded, and back in. Last one here, push that foot bar away. Lift, and come back in. Now we press it back out. Left leg comes up, grab onto it. Climb as high as you possibly can. And then feel the back of that leg press down and away and pull your belly back. From here, we round back. And then rock yourself back up. You decide how far back you want to go. Use these rocks as just an opportunity to find more lift, more stretch. Last one here, you're gonna rock back, plant your foot over the hip, and you're gonna climb down. So light grip as you go down because it's all stomach. Head goes down, exhale, climb back up, lift up and over your stomach, and then climb all the way down. Right leg is just steady pushing into the foot bar. And last one here. Come all the way up, 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 and then rock yourself forward, forward, forward. Place the foot back down and go ahead and bring the carriage all the way in. All right, so now we're gonna leave the foot bar up, and now we're gonna come to 2 medium springs, 2 mediums. That's 2 reds on my carriage. All right, so kneeling, feet up against the shoulder blocks here. And again, get as much of your foot up against it as you can. We're gonna do a little down stretch with a little play and some other stuff, all right? So once again, feel free to adjust the springs if you need. So hands are on shoulder width distance apart. Roll that pelvis up and through and find your extension. Once again, thigh bones are engaged or inner thighs are engaged. And roll those collarbones open. Now, can you keep this shape? Press the carriage back and then pull the carriage in. Now press the carriage back and just pause here for a second. Keep reaching back through the heels as your arms start to pull and lift you up and through. Tailbone stays long, your booty is very much at the party. It's just your prep for your back bend. We have 2. And last one, lift, 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 lift. Good. Now I want you to flatten your back out a little bit. Press the carriage out. Press the carriage out like you were doing a knee plank, and then just bring the carriage in. Press the carriage out, and then bring the carriage in. Okay, so now I want you to press the carriage out and hold here. So right now I look like I'm in a plank. My shoulders are in line with my hands. From here, can you keep the carriage relatively quiet? Bend your elbows to lower the chest down, and then press yourself back up. I say relatively because mine is moving for sure. And then back up. Think of squeezing those chest muscles, especially as you straighten the arms. Keep driving back through the heels. Legs are very much at the party. We have 3. Hang in there. And 2. And the last one. Bring it all the way in. All right, so staying on the 2 mediums, we're now gonna come up to standing. Heels are gonna be about halfway up the shoulder blocks. And then just find this rounded, lifted shape here. Inner thighs are at the party. Arms feel like they're pulling the foot bar apart so your neckline stays long. And imagine my fist was at your upper abdominals. So pull away from my fist there. Now press the carriage out. Keep pulling away from my fist as you bring the carriage all the way in, and then undulate your spine all the way up. So just doing a little up stretch here. Press the carriage back. Pull the carriage in, in, in. Use your stomach to pull in that last couple inch. Press the carriage out. Pull the carriage in, in. Lift up through the ribs, and then back in. Now we're gonna play. So press the carriage out. Now, drop the hips a little bit, find extension. And now come in on extension, carriage probably not gonna close. Press back in extension, and then nod your chin, round into your spine to pull the carriage all the way in. Press the carriage back out. Find extension, roll that chest open, bring the carriage in, lift, 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 lift. Press the carriage back out, nod your chin, round into your spine to come all the way in. Now take your heels down to the mat. Whew, there you go. All right, so just pause here, maybe take a moment to sway the hips, maybe shake out the wrists, and let's get into a little arabesque. So bend your right knee into your chest and then reach it back behind you. Now, keeping the carriage in, I want you to open up that hip and just feel a stretch somewhere. Keep the arms straight and then drop the hip down, square the hips off. We open the hip up, lift that leg, just find a stretch, and then lower the hip back down. Open the hip up, and then drop the hip down. Now keep the hips square. Press the carriage back and pull it in. Press the carriage back and pull it in. Last one, out and in. Keep the carriage in. Outside leg goes out to the side, or right leg goes out to the side. We press the carriage out and pull it in. Keep lifting up off of my fist. We have 2 and 1. Sweep that leg in front of you, reach it to your springs. Carriage out and in, out and in. Lengthen the neck, out and in, out and in. Step the foot back. Left leg goes out. Open up that hip. Keep the arms straight. And then lower the hip down. Anybody hear that pop? Lift, open up that hip, and then hip comes down. I'm really hoping that you're finding just some type of stretch here. And then back down. And then back down. Square the hips off. Press the carriage back and pull it in. Keep rounding into the ribs here. And keep pulling that foot bar apart. Now left leg goes out to the side. Out and in. Out and in. Out and in. Left leg sweeps to the springs. Think of lifting that shin up towards your chest. Out and in. Out and in. Awesome. Whew. Yeah. Let's step it off. We're going to stay on these springs. Come back to kneeling for knee stretches. So shake out those fists or those wrists. All right, so round into the spine once again. Really tuck the pelvis between the legs. Keep that shape, press the carriage back and pull it in. Back and in, back and in, back and in. 2. Last one, bring it in. Now find extension, roll that chest open, press it back and in. Pull that foot bar apart, find that arm to back connection for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it all the way in. Step your right toes forward, okay? So you're gonna keep that right heel lifted. Float your left knee up. You're gonna press it back and in. Spine stays rounded. So lift the ribs up off that thigh. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it all the way in. Go ahead and switch sides. Whew, yeah, round and lift into those ribs. Float the knee up, press it back and in. Keep curling that tailbone under. Drive back through that heel. We have 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it in. Alrighty, left foot steps back. Right foot comes up onto the foot bar here. Hold on, drive your pelvis forward so you feel a stretch here on that left thigh. Now press the carriage back, only to where you feel right where you need to go, a stretch, and then drag it all the way in. Press it back, and you pick whether you want to be rounded, flat, trying to go extended. You pick. Last one here, think of dropping that right hip down just a bit more. And then come all the way in. Carriage stays in. Left arm goes up and over. And now take a big breath in here on your side bend. And then as you exhale, hand comes down. Other side. Right foot back, left foot up. Again, allow that left hip to drop down, but make sure the knee isn't winging out. So think of the knee pulling in almost and left hip and hip dropping down. When you're ready, press the carriage out. And then drag it back in. Feel like your pubic bone is leading the way, but your heel is just staying back. We have 2. Go where you need to go. Last one here. all the way in. Pull with your left hand as your right arm goes up and over. Big expansive breath into those ribs. And then on your exhale, hand comes down and you are done. That went by fast today. Nice work.